Hey folks, this is Gabe with Security.org, and today I want to talk to you about ProtonVPN. Now, I hope you've caught some of our virtual private network explainer videos, kind of talking about what VPNs can and cannot do for you when it comes to privacy and security. And I do think that ProtonVPN is a great VPN to talk about what we idealize a VPN as being when it comes to you and your everyday life. So let's go ahead and dive into ProtonVPN. Now, when it comes to ProtonVPN, they really have great policy when it comes to no data logging. Now, of course, every VPN is going to say, hey, we don't log your data, but the extent to which they not only have, one, a great annual transparency report, they also really just don't ask for a lot of data when you sign up for the service. So that's a great start. Secondly, when it comes to torrenting, ProtonVPN really facilitates the process, especially if you're trying to up the ante using Tor. So the unlimited bandwidth and special P2P servers that you get with ProtonVPN really can enhance your overall online experience if you're someone using it in those ways. When it comes to what I don't love about ProtonVPN, I just have to say, really, it's mainly the price. I don't like parting with money. I don't think anyone really does if they don't have to. And ProtonVPN is a premium product, and ultimately you're gonna pay a premium price to use it. Now, before we dive further into our review of ProtonVPN, I do think it's useful to understand how ProtonVPN was founded. The founders, it is headquartered in Geneva, Switzerland, to be clear, basically wanted a better way to help protect activists and journalists around the world. We understand that in a lot of countries, it is dangerous to putting on for justice, or free speech may not be as free as we have come to like it. And ultimately that poses a threat to folks if their information is out there, for journalists, for activists. And if you go on Twitter, for example, or any other space, you'll note that a lot of people are using ProtonMail, which is from the same company as ProtonVPN, to get emails, to get tips, just to stay safe and to keep their people tipping them off essentially safe. So I really dig how ProtonVPN came to be in the world as we know it. Now, since coming into being in Geneva, Switzerland, they have added over 500 servers and they're in over 40 countries. Now, this is important to you because proximity to a server is really important when it comes to speed and overall experience with a VPN. So the fact that they have so many servers in so many different countries around the world is really going to make your overall experience as you travel, as you need to be in different places, that much better. Now let's dive a little bit deeper into the data logging policies of ProtonVPN. Now, ProtonVPN is not a part of the Five Eyes Alliance, but they do occasionally work with law enforcement, which they've disclosed. Now, they were asked for various things from law enforcement in the past couple of years, and generally speaking, they haven't had anything to release because they do not save anything. So what actually do they record? Well, they do have your email address when you sign up. They do have your payment information, and they also do keep a record of when you ask for support. Let's talk about kill switches when it comes to ProtonVPN. Now, ProtonVPN, most of those platforms like Windows and Mac OS have kill switches built in. So that means if you're on an app or you're on the internet or something's happening and for whatever reason the VPN messes up, all of a sudden your internet usage is not going to be public and available to anyone out there snooping around, but in fact it's just going to cut that internet connection altogether. Now, initially ProtonVPN did not have kill switches for all of its platforms, but what's very cool is they've actually instituted a new thing called Always On, and Always On for Android and iOS will move you from one VPN to another. So if something happens to the VPN that you're using, say, something happens in Mexico and you're using the Mexican server for whatever reason, well, it's just going to move you to, I don't know, Guatemala or Argentina or something of that nature. It's going to just switch, or who knows, it could be Japan, switch you to a different server so that there's no point in which your internet data is going to be out there on the web. Now, say you're not so worried about kill switches all the time because you are trying to do some things on the public network and you're trying to do some things on the private network. Now, this is called split tunneling. So you might have someone Googling around on the private network, but they're okay using this particular application on a public network. Now, split tunneling with ProtonVPN is only available right now for Windows and Android. You're not going to get that split tunneling capabilities on Mac or iOS. Now, protocols for ProtonVPN are essentially OpenVPN and IPv2 IPsec protocols, and you're not going to have Wireguard available on ProtonVPN. Now, when it comes to leaks with ProtonVPN, you can go over to our written site and see all of our data regarding the WebRTC leaks or DNS leaks, and spoiler alert, there weren't any. So let's go ahead now and dive into the mobile experience with ProtonVPN. So here I am checking out ProtonVPN on my iPhone 12 Pro Max. Now, I like starting from the maps part because you can just kind of see all the different countries and their flags. I was really into that when I was in school. Still am, I guess you could say. And if I wanted to go ahead and go, for example, to Iceland, I can tap on Iceland, and then I can just tap on, and now I'm connecting to Iceland. So that's a really cool thing that you can do. And then it's going to give you your IP address there. It's going to give you the server. It's just going to give you access to everything that one might want to know about where they've traveled to, in a sense. Now, if I jump out of here, I can go back to the maps, or I can go directly to countries. Now, in countries, you know, I used to live in Argentina. That's the top one. If I want to go to Buenos Aires, I can say, okay, here we are. Now I'm jumping into Buenos Aires. Now, this is really useful. I can then, for example, save this as a particular profile. So it's like, oh, you know what? I really enjoyed using this particular server. It's been quick. It's been useful for me. I'm going to save it as a profile. I can do so. But you'll also note to the right of that disconnect button in the bottom corner, it has my profiles. And here you'll note that I already have some profiles saved. So I have my fastest connections. I have what I call my Latin America, my Europa, my L'Afrique. I have different options for places that are useful for me in my life, just saved here. So I can just say, oh, I want to go to my Latin America profile. Boom, I'm there. It's Brazil. I want to go to my German profile, my Europa profile. You know, I have a lot of connections to Germany. And so I say, all right, let's go directly to that one. Oh, look, Germany. Dortmund. So I really appreciate the fact that I can set all those up. They've made it really easy. And if you'll note, you also have the ability to just jump into a random connection. And in this case, it's going to be Belgium. I'm hoping to make it to Belgium this summer to visit some friends. So it's really funny that Belgium's the one that has come up for me in this situation. Now you'll note here that you have the ability to have Net Shield on and off, and that gives you various levels of malware, ad blockers, and it switches things up. If you see that it goes reconnection required, it's gonna take it out, reconnect. And so I do love the ability to kind of weed out some of these elements that are not healthy for us. Now let's jump into settings. And in settings, you're gonna get just a few different pieces when you're on the iOS version on your mobile device. You know, you're gonna get your username, subscription plan. You're gonna have the protocol that you're using available. Now remember, it's OpenVPN or IKE, and I don't wanna actually change that right now since I'm actively using it, but you do have that option. And remember, it would be great to see Wireguard here, but that's just not an option right now. You can also note that there's that always on VPN element. You cannot toggle that off because there is no kill switch available on iOS. They have this always on VPN, which automatically reestablishes a secure VPN connection when your VPN connection is lost, so as you not be spreading things out there. Now, what's really cool is that it does have this part called allow alternative routing, which basically means that if Proton sites are blocked for one reason or another, it can automatically go ahead and alternatively route you to where you need to be. So really big fan of what they've done when it comes to this mobile edition. In summary, ProtonVPN is a superb product. Now, I began using it in Poland about 2 years ago, and I found it to be really useful while traveling around. If I needed to be somewhere else that I actually was not, ProtonVPN does a great job of that. Now, of course, in the past year, that's not really been an option. The whole travel thing has kind of been, you know, not really out there for most of us, but I still found it to be incredibly useful in terms of using Tor VPN, in terms of, you know, not just having my IP address just flying around on the internet willy-nilly. And I'm still willing, despite everything else happening, to pay that premium for ProtonVPN because it just does so many of the consumer elements of a VPN so well. So in short, for someone who's looking for their first VPN or someone who's looking to their second or third VPN, really trying to get a better product, I think that ProtonVPN does a great job of not only simplifying the experience, but also giving you a ton of feature depth. All right, folks, you made it this far. Thanks for staying with our look at ProtonVPN. Now, if you appreciate today's video, maybe give us a like. And if you have some thoughts on it, maybe drop us a comment below. We'd always love to hear from you. And if you love the video, or, let's just say you love the video, you can even subscribe to our channel, Security.org. We're dropping you the newest in home and digital security. Now, my name is Gabe. This is Security.org. Be secure.